You ever notice that most people don't have a problem setting goals, but they struggle following through on them? You may have a goal right now, just like I have a number of them, right? Where you probably want to lose weight, start a business or a side hustle, or you have a career pivot that you're trying to make. Anything, a lot of people, when they make these goals, they get pumped up, motivated, but with nobody's rooting them on, there's no motivational speaker telling them what to do on YouTube, or they just tired. Those goals, they eventually fail or they just get brushed under the rug, so to speak. So in this video, I wanted to discuss maybe some things that I experienced that's helped me to achieve several goals. Not gonna lie, not all major goals, but several goals. Um, and the habits and stuff that I put in place, the actions that I've taken has definitely been something that's repeatable and practical and simple. I'm sure that even you can do if you take the time to do it and implement it in your life. So for years, I made it a habit to not just write down goals, but my intentions of what I wanted to do. And I just followed a simple formula, or you might say a habit that eventually became second nature over time that I wanted to share with you. So whenever I had to set a goal or an intention, I call it, I would first write it down. Like, what is it that I intend to do? After I write it down, I started making a plan of action or a strategy and what I was going to do every single day until I reach X target or X goal. And once I did that, I just kept following through, and I made this a repeatable process to where, a few major milestones in my life, I was able to meet and the goals that I intended to reach. It was not easy though. I definitely had to stick it out regardless of motivation, regardless of nobody there rooting me on, and regardless of how I felt, like if I was tired or pumped up or not. And that's something that, everybody can do. So it's something that I actually looked up. Didn't even know that it had a term, but it was called implementation intention. So basically you write down or you take a mental note of what you intend to do. That's going to help you actually do what you say you're going to do. And it's very simple and practical. I'm not going to bore you to death what implementation intention is, but you can definitely look on YouTube and find, several videos or more that go into detail about what it is. There's people that have written books about it. There's people who discovered it that have papers and things like that about it. So it's really easy to find information, but I'm just going to break it down to you in a short, simple way that you can understand and that may help you exactly like it has helped me. So implementation intention is basically when you write down or you make a specific goal of what you intend to do. A lot of times they bring up a term called an if-then statement. I like to call it when-then, because if-then, it's kind of weird. A lot of people don't talk like that. But I usually would write down something like, when X happens, then I'll do Y. The way that you would go about doing this is you would think about a goal or something you intend to do and write down specifically what you intend to do. So that example could be going to the gym, right? A lot of people have a goal to go to the gym. It's very vague and it's not very specific. It's very wishful thinking. It's something that you got to add a little bit more beat to it if you want to actually reach that target or that goal. So what I would do is write down in a journal or take a mental note or a reminder in your phone. And you would say, when it hits 5 o'clock, I'm going to go to the bathroom at work, change it to my gym clothes, and go to the gym and work out for 30 minutes before I go home. I know that's super specific, but you kind of have to be specific if you actually want to reach the goal that you intend to do. And you actually, accomplish it and follow through. You have to eliminate the obstacles and excuses. So that is one example of implementation intention, is you writing out specifically, when you're going to do something, what you're going to do, and then you're going to work towards following through on it. So each and every time that I did this, I've met a lot of major milestones where they have to do with, financial goals, where they have to do with career pivots, or even personal development goals. Using implementation intention, or making those statements, writing it down, making mental notes of when I'm going to do something, how I was going to do it, and start working on that every single day has helped me. And here's why a lot of people fail. Because let's say that you have a goal to lose weight, which a lot of people make that goal coming up in the new year, right? A lot of people have this broad goal that they want to lose weight, and they don't actually put like how many pounds or what they're going to do to actually lose weight. They just make this broad statement. And you really have to be specific when it comes down to being intentional about what you're going to do. We have to break it down and make it more specific and say, I want to lose 5 pounds in, let's say, 4 weeks. So that's almost like a pound, maybe a pound and a quarter each week, which is doable. But then you got to figure out, okay, how am I going to do that? One of the ways is working out, for X amount of minutes every day, or eating smaller portion size food, or calorie counting, and making sure that you keep your calories under a certain threshold so that you don't go over your caloric intake that you need to maintain your weight. You have to have a shortage of calories to lose weight. So when you be more specific and break it down, I'm sorry, that's probably heck of convoluted and a little bit more specific than I wanted to go about it. But basically, I'm just trying to say you have to have a strategy and a plan on what you intend to do and how you're going to lose weight. So if you want to lose weight, a pound a week, let's say, which is relatively healthy, you need to work out probably for 30 minutes a day and don't eat after 7. You can keep it super simple, just like that. You make a habit each day of what you need to do, what workouts you need to do, and how long you're going to do it for. And eventually, as you continue to make it a habit, it becomes second nature, and you'll actually follow through on what you say you're going to do. Now, a lot of people, they think that they have to be motivated, or they have to have a buddy system or an accountability partner, which I think you do. It does help to have one, but you don't need one all the time. But I do know for sure if you write down and be intentional what you say you're going to do each and every day, eventually you are going to reach your target. Now here's the real superpower and where people may get things messed up. See, implementation intention, it really actually helps you to prevent obstacles from even coming up. When you intend to do something and you've written it down, you committed to it, you made a mental note of it, you're going to eliminate excuses, eliminate obstacles that may come your way. And that consistency is going to be built up to the point where you're going to be unstoppable and you're going to do what you say you're going to do no matter what. So going back to like that gym situation, because I had to deal with this a while ago, where I knew if I went home, I was not going to go back out and go to the gym. But with implementation intention, you make a statement, writing it down or a mental note saying, hey, when it hits 5 o'clock, I'm going to put my gym clothes on and I'm going to go straight to the gym to work out. Let's say you don't want to work out for 30 minutes. Start small and do 15 minutes. So when it hits 5 o'clock, that's a part of the statement. Then I will get dressed for the gym and go to the gym and work out for 15 minutes before I go home. So if you make that mental note or you write it down, you hold yourself accountable, and you do that repeatedly over and over, you creating this plan and this strategy that can't fail as long as you stick to it. Like I said before, motivation is never going to lift you up off your butt to go to the gym. It has to take you moving and taking action for it to actually follow through and go. So I'm curious, what goal are you trying to reach right now? Let me know down in the comments if you're struggling with the motivation or the strategy or plan, or what is it? Like, what is it that's stopping you from trying to reach said goal? And how can I help you if any way possible? Now, let's talk about the details, the 3-step process to making implementation work for you. So I just wrote this down because I'm not going to remember it. I'm going to be honest with you. So the 3-step formula, because I know I do this on my own, like second nature, but I want to give you a more formal way of how you can go about it. So the 3-step formula is this. If you want to start doing what you say you're going to do, you're going to try this. Step number 1, you're going to write down your goal. Simple. Be crystal clear. Know exactly what you're trying to accomplish. Step 2, you're going to create, they say if-then plan. I'm just going to call it a when-then plan because it just makes better sense. So when X happens, or when it hits 5 o'clock, Then I would do why. Then I would get dressed. I can go to the gym and work out for 30 minutes. So you got to be specific. If you don't, the goal is just going to become wishful thinking and you're not going to do it. And step number 3 is you're going to repeat the action until the target is reached, right? So you're not going to wait till you get like bored, tired, or even motivated. You have to take action, and you have to take actions quickly. Be decisive, because if not, your goal is not going to get reached, and you're going to fail. So now, for those that may not know what their goals is, I have something perfectly laid out for you. So if you go ahead and click the link in the description to the newsletter, I'm going to share with you something I'm actually working on. I try to do this like every few years or so, where I start journaling. What is it that Troy really wants? What is it that I want my life to look like in the next, 6 months to a year? Try to keep it brief and short, because it's kind of hard to think, 5 years out, 10 years out. But going back to what I was saying, if you click the link in the description below to the newsletter, I'm going to share with you a 30-day, find yourself plan, you might call it. I might call it something else, but basically it'll be a 30-day plan that you can journal to figure out what is it you want to do. What is it you want out of life? After you go through that 30-day plan, which is completely free when you sign up, you should be able to figure out, what is it you want? And then you can start setting those goals and those intentions that you want to reach. And I think that will help everybody. And then, that will help me too. I would love to hear like how it's helped you, or how you're doing and progressing and finding out who you are and what you want in life. That's all what it's about, right? Making these goals and trying to find out your targets and where you're trying to go in life. It's all about discovering yourself or reinventing yourself. And at the end of the day, it all comes down to this. If you want to actually achieve what you say you're going to do, you have to make specific intentional goals. You have to be intentional, like, period. And one way to do that, right, is practicing implementation intention. Write it down specifically what you're going to do, when you're going to do it, and how you're going to do it. And make that a repeatable thing that eventually becomes second nature. Because once you do that and that consistency is built up, you're going to trust yourself for more things, bigger goals, larger intentions that you have for yourself. And like I said before, you'll be unstoppable once you have a system in place and a process how you're going to achieve your goals. And, I would just love to see people win. So that's why I wanted to share this today, and hopefully you got something out of it. If you did, give this video a thumbs up, and I would love to see you in the next video. Peace.